What's going on, everybody? My name's Dusty, coming at you from our new YouTube channel, Wonderbago. Today is the day that we do all the fluids, the belts and hoses. I'm going to do new plugs and wires. Those are some of the things that we do. Transmission fluid we're not going to do today. I want to kind of get it up and running first before we do that. So let me show you what I have today. Hang on just a second. So one of the things you always want to do when you're trying to get a motor back to life is a fluid change. So we're talking transmission fluid, the coolant needs to be flushed out, and then the oil needs to be changed out on it. Power steering and brake fluid as well, but that's going to be a little bit later. Just want to get the thing running first. So what we have here is the stock oil filter. This is a canister style. So this is the actual housing, and then we have a filter that goes inside here. So it's not very conventional. It's probably how they did it back in the day. But the way this works is you have that, you have the shaft that goes through here, and then that is how it is threaded into the bottom of the block. So we have that, and then we have a spring that goes inside here. And then these are the, sorry, I'm doing this by myself. This is the factory grommets that come with it for seals and whatnot. So we have this filter. And by the way, all these parts that I'm getting for this thing, I like to use Rock Auto because you can see pictures and make sure you get the right parts. Generally cheaper, although shipping's kind of expensive. So I got this from Rock Auto. I also like to do Napa. Napa seems to be very well stocked with older vehicle parts. Not so much newer vehicle, but like you really don't go to AutoZone or O'Reilly for something this old. They always have to special order, and generally when I start something I like to try to get it done as soon as possible and just move on to the next thing, and I don't want to wait for 3 or 4 days to get a part in. So I'm going to put this together. It goes this first, and then this slides over it, goes in the hole, spring goes in, and then comes with 2 choices of gaskets for this kit. And the instructions, yes, I read the instructions. It says to use the bigger gasket for V8. So I'm going to get this put together, and I'll show you underneath the Winnebago where it goes. Okay, so here we are underneath the front end of the Winnebago, the Wonderbago. We're going to put the oil filter on, and if you could see it, there it is right there. This is on the passenger side underneath the block, and it is a little bit oily still, so I'm going to grab a rag and clean that off, and then we're going to screw the new filter in there, get it as tight as we can, and we'll go up to the top side and start doing the rest. Okay, so we want to revisit this oil filter a little bit, just in case you're changing the oil on one of these things. If you look right up here, the oil filter fits into a little groove, and the big gasket has to go completely inside that groove. So what I had to do is get some RTV gasket maker and put it up in there, and then put the O-ring gasket to that and stick it there so that I could put the housing up and thread it in. Otherwise the gasket just kept falling down, or when we twist it on, it would just come out of that groove, which would cause a big huge oil leak. So not very easy to do. It's actually kind of tough, but anyways, so hopefully that helped somebody else out there. RTV gasket maker, put a bead around the inside of that ring there, and then stick your gasket to it, and then thread the oil filter on. Okay, cool. So this is the motor. Boom, there you go. Dodge 318 industrial model. We're gonna put, here's the distributor. This is a points system too, so it's really old, fairly reliable, I think. Not real sure. I've never done points. Everything I've done is HEI or just cap and rotor stuff. But anyways, we're gonna put new wires on. These wires look good. They're pretty flexible, but I mean, they're super old, so we're gonna just do that. It's easy. They're 7mm wires. We're gonna put new plugs in it too. Right here, I took the carburetor off. It's a Carter 2-barrel. I just like to keep that hole plug so nothing gets in there, but I sent that out to a friend of mine over at Carburetors Unlimited, and they are rebuilding it. So so it's nice and fresh and ready to go. You always want to do something like that because those seals dry up super fast. So put this back here. I already put a new filter on. Inline filter, real simple. It's a Fram. It's a generic one. And then also there's one underneath the vehicle by the gas tanks too. So I got on rockauto.com and ordered in bulk fuel filters because I plan on going through a few of them just to make sure everything's cleaned out. I already put a new upper radiator hose on. Got this from Napa. Napa has this stuff in stock amazingly. Everything I'm ordering is for a 1969 Dodge D300, one-ton Dodge truck. So everything so far has been in stock amazingly. I put a new heater return hose on. That activates from the control panel on the dash. That activates the heater coming out of the floor boards for when it's super cold outside. And that is actually falling apart. When I took this off right here, the little connector inside was almost rotten away. So I didn't do it too much to it. I was very gentle with it. So when you're taking stuff off an old motor, just be gentle because a lot of stuff crumbles and just causes more work. So anyways, we're going to pull the plugs out, 2, 4, and then 6 and 8. Replace the plugs. They're already pre-gapped at 35, which is what this needs to be at. And we're going to put some new 7mm plug wires on. Cost me about $32 for all of that. So anyways, we'll get to it. Be right back with you. You always got to drop a tool. Be right back. Just so that you know that it's supposed to be like a cocoa brown color. That's ideal. So these are pretty dirty. So okay, base gasket. You got a fresh one. Carburetor. Boom. And washers here. So carb is hooked up. All the linkages are hooked up. Plugs and wires are good. Fuel filter is ready to go. Fuel line in is good. Vacuum line's out. The linkages for the gas pedal were sticking because they were rusted. So I lubed those, otherwise the throttle would have been stuck wide open. So good thing to check. So now is the time to see what happens. So battery's connected, and I'm gonna crank it. This is the scary part. Get some fuel real quick. And the oil pressure is about 60, which I believe is where it should be. I already put fresh oil in it, so I added a quart of transmission fluid to that too, because it acts as a detergent. So we're going to change that out after, I don't know, 100 miles or so, and freshen that up. A lot of smoke coming out because when I took the oil filter off, of course, oil got everywhere. So. Okay. Thanks for watching.